The title of this book, The Time Chronicles, The Time Weave. Retold by Hunt, Alex Brenstar, David Hunt. Written by Roderick Hunt and illustrated by Alex Brenstar. The story so far. Weapons are a virus spreading through time. Their purpose is to bring about chaos and darkness by destroying history as we know it. Mortlock, the Time Guardian, has one last hope of defeating the Barons. The Time Wave. Can the children go back in time, recover the parts of the Time Wave, and return safely? Or will the mission be too difficult and dangerous? Chapter 1. Biff and Chip waited anxiously in the circularium. Chip kept looking at the doors through which the others had vanished only moments earlier. Biff stared at the hourglass. She watched the last few specks of light flowing down. Would everyone return safely? She held her breath. Mortlock had not moved, but as the last specks of light slipped into the lower part of the hourglass, he let out a deaf sign. From beneath them came a deaf rumbling sound, as if a heavy machine was working. The circularium began to spin. Once again, the doors seemed to merge into one. Then Will appeared. He was holding a small but highly intricate machine made of polished metal. It had tiny gold wheels and cogs, spring and coils of silver wire, and parts made of glass and crystal. In the very center was a large sapphire of the deepest blue. Will smiled broadly. "I've got the hub," he said excitedly. The Time Wave's hard drive. Next to a pair was Nina. She was holding a metal tray. It was like a keyboard with strings and beautiful symbols. Nina held it carefully as if afraid to drop it. "The matrix," she said. "I had a scary time bringing it back." The circularium spun again. Velma and Nadim were flung out of it. "Barons were after us," panted Nadim. "We just got away in time." Wilma held a large lump of dark metal. It was the cell. The rumbling under the floor stopped. The three open doors round the edge of the room closed gently. The circularium had shut down. All was so quiet the children could almost hear the dust settling. Then Biff broke the silence. Her voice rose in panic. "Where's Skipper?" she shouted. Why hasn't he come back?" Nadim looked startled. He spun around, expecting Kipper to be behind him. "Things got tricky," he said. "We were running away from the Baron." Kipper ran back, gasped Wilma. "He ran back to help that boy called Teller. I'm sorry, I should have stopped him." Chip turned to Mortlock. "We must rescue Kipper," he said urgently. "How do we go back to find him?" Mortlock frowned. "The circularium has stopped. We'll try using the Time Wave." He laid the box on the floor and opened the lid. Then he took the hub from Will. It slid perfectly into place. He put the matrix some distance from it. "Now, Velma," he said. "But the cell in the lid of the box, it will power the Time Wave up. The shopper will glow, then a wave of light will form above it." Wilma did as Mortlock asked, but nothing happened. Mortlock tapped some symbols of the matrix, but still the jewel did not Did not glow. It's not working, said Madame. Why isn't it working? Shouted Beep. Keeper's in danger. What if what if he can't get back? What if the Varens have caught him? At that moment, one of the doors in the circularium began to open. Is it Keeper? Asked Nina. But it wasn't Keeper, it was Fluffy. He had found his way down from the library. When Fluffy saw the children, he rushed towards them. Fluffy, shouted Will in his excitement. Fluffy crashed into the hourglass, toppling it over. Then he leapt up at Chip with his tail wagging. Morlock dived towards the hourglass and grabbed it just before it hit the floor. As it fell, a few specks of light flown upward. As Morlock set it upright, the bright specks began to trickle down again. A rumbling came from below the floor. The circularium had begun to work once more. Keeper appeared, but he was not alone. Keeper, Keeper, shouted Beep. And Teller, exclaimed Wilma. How did you escape? I was sure that Baron was going to get you. Teller gave a cheeky grin. It was thanks to Keeper, he said. I rammed my wheelchair into the Baron. As the Baron jumped aside, he got too close to a printing press, so Keeper pulled his lever and dropped his coat tail. Then the door appeared, said Keeper. So here we are. Fluffy Wolf and ran to greet Keeper. When the hourglass fell over, the circularium worked again, said Morlock. A good job too, said Wilma. Or Keeper and Teller might still be in the clutches of those barons. But the circularium seems to have a mind of its own. I don't get it. Snapped Morlock. It's an ancient time travel machine and not reliable. But now we have the time wave. It will detect the past precisely and you can travel to an exact time in history quite safely. The time wave was still on the floor where Mortla has set it up. Tyler looked at it. Is this the time wave? He asked. It ain't very big. It doesn't work, said Nadim. Even though it's connected up. Hang on, said Tyler. Has the box got a keyhole? Maybe it needs a key. What's going on? Gasped Chip. This is most unusual, said Morlock. The circularium is sending somebody out again. It must be you, Beef and Chip. It wants you to get the key. But why is the hourglass working upside down? Asked Beef. You will be sent forward in time, into the future, so you must not be seen, not by anyone. Remember, do not be seen. The circularium began to spin. Then all went quiet. This time, Beef and Chip had vanished. Chapter 5. Beef and Chip were standing in their own back garden. It was dark, but every light in the house was blazing. The back door opened. Dad came out and went to the bottom of the garden. Beef and Chip ducked behind the shed. Dad had a party hat on and he was carrying a large firework. Only 3 minutes to go, called Dad, going back inside. I bet it's New Year's Eve, said Chip. That will let the fireworks off just after midnight, so we must get the key before he comes back. Suddenly, Mom came to the window. Beef and Chip gasped. Through the window, they saw themselves. Keeper was there, and so were Will and Wilma and their mom and dad. They were all wearing party hats. Weird, gaps. Cheap. It like seeing a film with us in it. No wonder. Morlock told us not to let anyone see us. Stay here, said Beef. I'll get the key. Now is the best time. She ran across the lawn and crept into the house. Chip closed his eyes. He heard voices calling, "Happy New Year!" "Hurry up, Beep," he whispered. "What's taking you so long?" Chip waited, but Beep didn't appear. Dad came down the garden again. Chip crouches behind the shed. Dad lit the fireworks and ran back to the house. Whoosh! The fireworks lit up the sky. In seconds, it was all over. Then Beef appeared at the top of the pinch and dropped down beside him. "I was getting worried," he shrieked. "I got the key, but I almost bumped into Mom. I went out the front and ran down next door's garden. No one saw me," said Beep. A blue door appeared in the pinch. At the moment, Dad rushed down the garden with a bucket of water. His firework had set the shed on fire, but luckily Beef and Chip had vanished. Chapter 6. Beef and Chip returned safely with the key. Morlock took everyone to a bright, welcoming room where there was a table laden with food. "Time to eat," said Morlock. "Pizza, samosa, lamb, kibas, salads, crushed bread. Can I offer you milk or fruit juice?" Teller ate as if he was starving. "I've never had such a peach before," he said. He gave Morlock a serious look. "What sort of place is this?" he asked. Morlock explained that they were in a place that exists outside normal time. "I don't get it," mumbled Teller with his mouth full of bread. Then they spoke about the Barons, and Wilma told them that the ones they had met seemed like ordinary people. "No, they were scary," shuddered Bill. "They made everything cold and dark." "Ah," Morla said, "they don't always give off of coldness or darkness. They can appear to be quiet, normal, but they are not humans. Their aim is to bring about chaos." "But why do they explode?" asked Keeper. "They are made of dark energy. It's like electricity, but they must be stopped. Their energy must be captured." "Yeah, but it's great watching him go bang," grinned Teller. "Come on," said Morlock, jumping to his feet. "Now we have the key. The time wave will work. We'll set it up in the library." Morlock connected the parts of the time wave together and put the key in the lock and turned it. The blue shimmered in the center of the hub glowed. Then light began to grow out of it. It rose up like a beautiful tree with millions of fine, delicate branches. Barons. What is a baron? Pure dark energy aims to destroy all that is good throughout history and create a future of darkness. Kill. They turn themselves into human form to live among people. Weapons. Dark cloud. Barons create darkness to hide in or to confuse others. Coldness. Barons draw energy, especially from light. In its place, they leave an icy chill that saps all who feel it. Baron minds steer victims, muddle their speech, and become confused or forgetful. Weaknesses, giving off coldness or darkness when annoyed or disturbed. Can a Baron be stopped in its raw state? Baron energy can never be destroyed, but it can be trapped and contained. A fold in time. Imagine time as long as a piece of tape. At one end is now, at the other end is sometime in the future. Now, tomorrow. Imagine the same pieces of tape as folded it. The tape still runs from now until tomorrow. But what would happen if you went into the fold? Time inside it will pass in a different way from real time. Now, tomorrow, you will come out of the fold at almost the exact place you went in. Within the fold, an hour, a week, or even a month could have passed, but outside it, the real time may only have moved on in a few seconds. Glossary, page 18. From the word clutches. From the word clutch, if you are in the clutches of someone, you are in their power. A good job too, said Wilma. Or keeper and teller might still be in the clutches of those barons. Crouch, bent down, chip crunch, behind the sheet. Intricate with lots of delicate and complicated detail. He was holding a small but highly intricate machine and made of polished metal, laden, heavily loaded or weighed down. A table laden with food. Merge. When two or more things join together, once again the door seems to merge into one. Samosa. A triangle shaped pasty filled with meat or vegetables and fried in oil. Pizza, samosa, lamb, kiba, salad, crushed bread. Supper. A transparent blue crystal, a very precious gemstone. In the very center was a large supper of the deepest blue. The was another word for crouch, squats, kneel, stop, bob, bend down. The end.